We live in an age of constant pressure. The pressure to be productive, to be perfect, to be successful. We are handed a blueprint for the good life from day one. Get the right grades, choose the right career, build the right image. We carve and sand ourselves down to fit a mold, hoping to find happiness and respect. Yet for so many of us, this path leads only to a quiet sense of burnout and a feeling that the person we present to the world isn't really us. What if the path to a truly free and fulfilling life wasn't about following a blueprint, but about breaking it? This is not a new problem. The greatest minds of both the East and the West grappled with this exact struggle. Today, we will explore a liberating path to self-mastery by putting the ancient Chinese sage Zhuangzi into conversation with the giants of Western thought, Aristotle, Socrates, and the existentialists. Together, they offer a timeless guide to reclaiming your authentic self. Part 1. Freedom from the blueprint. The goal of flourishing. Our society is obsessed with a single question: what are you good for? We are judged by our utility. But is that the true measure of a life? The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle proposed a different goal. He called it eudaimonia, often translated as happiness, but it more accurately means human flourishing. For Aristotle, a good life wasn't about being a useful tool. It was about realizing your unique potential, your telos. An acorn's purpose is to become a mighty oak, not a perfect chair. To force it into another shape is to deny its nature. Thousands of miles away, Zhuangzi illustrated this exact idea with a beautiful parable. He spoke of a massive, gnarled, crooked tree. Carpenters would walk past it in disgust because its twisted wood was useless for making furniture or beams. But Zhuangzi saw its true purpose. Because it was useless to the world of men, it was never cut down. It grew ancient and magnificent, living out its full, glorious nature. Consider a man named David. By day, David is a highly successful project manager at a demanding tech firm. His life is a series of deadlines, performance reviews, and efficiency metrics. By society's blueprint, he is incredibly useful. But at night, after his family is asleep, he goes into his small workshop. He's not building an app or starting a side hustle. He's painstakingly restoring an old, forgotten mechanical clock from the 1950s. The tiny gears are delicate. The work is slow and has zero economic value. It will not get him a promotion. His friends ask him, "Why do you waste your time on that old thing?" But David knows that when he finally gets a tiny, forgotten gear to click perfectly into place, when he hears the soft, rhythmic ticking for the first time in 50 years, he feels a sense of purpose and connection that his six-figure salary has never once provided. That is his flourishing. That is his eudaimonia. The first freedom is realizing you are not a tool to be used, but a life to be lived. The goal is not to be useful, it is to flourish. Part 2. Freedom from a fixed perspective. The view from the mountaintop. One of the deepest sources of our anxiety is the belief that our perspective is the only perspective. We see an event through our own narrow lens and judge it as good or bad, a success or a failure. We become trapped in the prison of our own certainty. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche called this the fallacy of absolute truth. He championed the idea of perspectivism, the understanding that there are no universal facts, only individual interpretations. He believed that the sign of a strong mind was the ability to entertain many different perspectives without being chained to any single one. In a stunning parallel, Zhuangzi explores this with his concept of the equalizing of things. He invites us to leave our spot on the ground and take a view from a great height. Imagine you are standing at the base of a mountain. A house looks enormous. A river looks like a powerful obstacle. And a forest looks like an impenetrable wall. But as you climb, your perspective shifts. From the summit, the house is a mere speck. The river is a silver ribbon, and the forest is a patch of green velvet. The things themselves did not change, but your relationship to them was transformed by your perspective. Consider a woman named Emily. She is a talented and ambitious marketing manager who has worked tirelessly for a promotion to director. When the announcement is made, she is devastated to learn that her colleague, someone she feels is less experienced, got the job instead. From her fixed perspective on the ground, this is a terrible injustice. Her world shrinks to this single, painful event. She sees her colleague as an adversary and her boss as a fool. She is trapped in feelings of anger and betrayal. But what if she could ascend the mountain? From her colleague's perspective, he feels he earned the role based on a different skill set the company values. From her boss's perspective, perhaps he sees that this specific director role would have led to burnout for Emily, and he is protecting her for a better opportunity in the future. From the perspective of 10 years from now, this failure might be the very catalyst that pushes Emily to leave and start her own, far more successful company. When she holds all these perspectives at once, the sharp edges of her initial anger and disappointment begin to soften. The event is no longer a simple injustice. It becomes a complex situation with many truths. She's no longer a victim of the event, she's an observer of it. This is the second freedom. The liberation that comes from realizing your perspective is not the entire landscape. By embracing this, the emotional charge of success and failure begins to lose its power over you. You become free. Part 3. Freedom from control. The art of effortless action. Our culture is obsessed with control. We crush our goals. We hack our lives. We try to force every outcome through sheer willpower. This relentless struggle is a primary cause of modern burnout. We are exhausted from trying to bend the world to our will. The French existentialist philosopher Albert Camus explored this struggle in the myth of Sisyphus, a man condemned to forever push a boulder up a hill, an absurd, pointless task. Yet, Camus concludes, one must imagine Sisyphus happy. How? Sisyphus finds his freedom not by escaping his fate, but by mastering his response to it. He finds meaning in the struggle itself. Zhuangzi provides a beautiful path to this state of mastery. He calls it Wu Wei, not doing nothing, but effortless action. Consider a software developer named Leo. He's been trying to solve a complex bug for days. He's worked 16-hour shifts, meticulously planning every line of code, trying to force a solution. But the more he controls, the more things break. He is Sisyphus, exhausted by the weight of the boulder. Finally, he gives up. He steps away from the computer and goes for a long walk in the woods, completely clearing his mind. As he walks with no agenda, the solution suddenly appears in his mind, not as a logical sequence, but as a flash of intuitive insight. He returns to his desk, deletes his old forced code, and begins again. This time, his fingers fly across the keyboard. He is not fighting the problem. He is dancing with it. The code flows out of him. He has entered the flow state. This is the freedom of effortless action. It comes not from more control, but from deep practice and the wisdom to let go. You stop trying to push the boulder and instead learn the shape of the mountain. The Great Transformation. The journey to a free life is a series of liberations. It is the Aristotelian freedom to flourish as your unique self, the Socratic freedom to follow your inner voice, and the existential freedom found in dancing with the beautiful absurdity of reality. Zhuangzi captured this entire journey in a final, magnificent myth, that of a giant fish, the kun, trapped in a northern sea. Yearning for more, it transforms into a colossal bird, the peng, and soars into the heavens. This is not a story about escape. It is a story about perspective. When you free yourself from the blueprints of others, from the cage of comparison, and from the desperate need to control, you undergo a transformation. Your perspective shifts. You are no longer the fish looking up at the sky. You are the bird looking down at the world, seeing it all as one beautiful, interconnected whole. You have become the uncarved self, perfectly imperfect, and finally, truly free.